What's up, YouTube? As always, it's Spirit City your time. You're here to bring you a Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood series discussion. Now I gotta admit I kind of stepped out. So I was trying to do this in segments, like, watch 10 episodes, talk about it, 10 episodes, talk about it. But I just became so hooked, and due to great work schedule, I just kind of didn't do that. So I started watching Fullmetal like a week ago. Almost a week ago, last Sunday, and I came hooked like instantly. I watched one episode and then I watched like 20, and then Monday through Friday I work, PT, then Fullmetal. That was my schedule, literally. I could have made videos in between that. I just didn't due to horrible work schedules. And then today, being Saturday, I finished it. So, discussion is, like I said, it's be more of a discussion and a review because most people that are watching this probably have already watched Fullmetal. I was just late to the party. Now, like I said, I never watched Fullmetal back when it came on TV because, I don't know, I just never was interested for one reason or another. And anytime I would watch it, I literally seen like the same episode like 2 or 3 times. For my excuse, it was actually Fullmetal Alchemist, not Fullmetal Brotherhood. But that discouraged me, so I just said screw it. And then one day, one magical day, I bought Netflix for some crazy reason. And then, it was on there, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it. And that was my last Saturday or Sunday. And I just became hooked. So like I said, it's more a discussion. I've already made 2 videos, I think up to like episode 26 on my thoughts about it. So this pretty much be just discussion, like my favorite moments and whatnot. And just be totally unscripted, so that ought to be fun. So Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, like it's, oh my god, one of the best freaking animes I've ever watched. Honestly, I was able to compete with the classics like Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin and Gundam. I can't fault Brotherhood for anything. I can't see anything wrong with it, other than it being short. 6 episodes is decent in my book, but some shows are so good you're like, man, I wish it was more episodes. Honestly, that's my only fault with them. The story was great, characters are great. To me, anytime, what makes it great, or so great in my opinion, is anytime you can, just like a book or anything that you read or watch, when you can legit, genuinely feel for the characters, or have emotion for characters, that shows that the creator was a great writer. Like at the end, when freaking Al sacrificed his body to bring Ed's arm back, I was effed up with that. I was legit oh my god, I'm about to go cry in the corner, messed up when that happened. And then he finally gets his body back when Ed discovers, I guess the only thing equal to a soul is giving up your own alchemy, which I guess in essence is giving up your own truth or whatever. And whatever, so he gives that up, so it becomes, and I think it's funny how God or the truth or whatever you want to call it, how he said you would how Ed lowered himself to be just a normal human, and Ed was that's all I've ever been, was a normal human, and he sacrificed his alchemy to bring Al's body back, and that was probably one of my favorite moments, because I didn't think like I said, I never watched it. I seen the ending, a little bit of the ending a long time ago before I started watching it, so I always figured Al died at the end, so while I was watching this week, I didn't really want to watch the ending, because I'm I already know I was going to die. So he came back, so that was a super surprise for me. Mustang, I gotta give him props. Before I watched Fullmetal, I hated Mustang. I always thought it was the most retarded character I ever seen. His powers, or what I thought was powers, I thought it was retarded. He always needed freaking an ignition source or whatever to even use his powers. If it was wet, he couldn't even use his powers. In one of the beginning episodes, when it was raining, and everyone was making fun of him because once again he couldn't use his powers. And I think I read something or someone, or maybe it's from Full Metal, like the glove he uses is actually part of how he uses his powers. But anyway, I always thought it was like the most wackest character ever. But after watching Brotherhood, I must say Mustang is one of my favorite characters out of anything I've watched. I mean, the way he destroyed Lust, and how at the end he already knew that Lust wasn't the one that killed Hughes, and how he destroyed Lust. I mean, like, burned her to freaking death, and you know, she's homunculus, so it's like extremely hard. And did it again. Like, he's so ruthless in the way he fights. Like, if he had Philosopher's Stone and he had his power, he'd be a beast. And even how he fought like those mannequin creature thingies, he just snaps his finger and he burns them. That's another reason why I kind of like him now, which is it's kind of funny because that's another reason why I didn't like him. Like, his power, it's kind of like, I feel like it's demeaning to people he fights, and that's why it's awesome. Like, he snaps his fingers and he can just kill you. So yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite characters. And even the fact of the ending, how when Father got beat, which I don't know, okay, I guess that is another fault. I didn't care too much how Father got beat, but nothing really to complain about. Same thing for King Bradley, which I actually randomness, but I kind of find his name weird. Like, his literal name is King. But anyway, how Father, when he got beat, like, honestly, he was a villain, and yeah, he was a bad guy, although technically he's not a guy, but he actually didn't seem like a bad guy. Like, that's another reason why I think Full Metal is written quite well. Like, the main villain of the show, he still kind of fell for it. Like, when he gets beaten and he goes, he goes to the gate, and the truth is like, pretty much, talking down to him. He's like, what did I do? What should I have done different? All I wanted to do was be perfect. Which, I mean, obviously, you'll never be perfect, but, he was, the way he sounded so innocent. And then I think either in that same episode or next episode, when they showed a flashback with him and the Alec brothers, their father, how when he asked him, like, what would make him happy, and he just said, like, he just wants to, like, live outside the Flash. And, like, that's kind of, honestly, that seemed like his main goal, is he just wanted to live and be free, because he was never free. He was either in a Flash or in a fake body, or, he just wanted to live. And yeah, it got distorted, because, I mean, he's killed, like, millions of people for all those Philosopher's Stones. But, I mean, he still kind of fell for him. Like, I mean, he just kind of wanted to live. That was his goal. And Greed, I like that Greed, with Ling Chao, whatever his name was, how Greed started off obviously evil, and he, like, filled the hole in his heart with friends, which obviously kind of reminds me of Naruto. But I like how they did it. Greed being Greed, he always says he wants what humans want, money, power, all that fun stuff. And at the very end, when he gets beat with Ling Chao and he's about to get absorbed by a freaking Father, he sacrifices himself for Ling. And when he actually dies, he actually, like, pretty much had, like, that revelation of, what, I lived a good life and I'm happy I have friends, because that's what I really wanted. Like, Full Metal, I don't know, I could probably go on for a lot longer than 10 minutes, but I don't really want to rant that much about it. But, I mean, this video is just a little discussion on a few things that I loved about Full Metal Brotherhood. So feel free to drop your comments on what you love. Like I said, this video is probably like, 10 years too late, but I just recently watched it and I loved it. So feel free to comment on the video. Definitely comment on, Brotherhood, what you like, your favorite moments. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and I'll see you later.